Hello and welcome to the Essence Hub where we engage in meaningful analysis of stuff that matters. आज की इस वीडियो में we are again going to talk about a one of a kind issue. It's none other than the resignation of our ex-Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar. Now before I say anything, I want you to have a look at this video.
I will retire at the right time. August 2027. Subject to divine intervention.
This is what the ex-Vice President said on July 10 about his retirement during a speech at JNU. और जहाँ तक मैं समझ पाई हूँ इस इशू को, डिवाइन इंटरवेंशन के क्लियर साइंस ज़रूर नज़र आते हैं थैंक्स टू पीएम मोदी, जो नॉन बायोलॉजिकल और डिवाइन तो हैं ही. Now let's get into the topic. Jagdeep Dhankar was the 14th Vice President who served from 11 August 2022 till 21st of July 2025 when he resigned mid-term. By profession, he was a lawyer. He also held the position of the Governor of West Bengal from 2019 to 2022, where his tenure was marked by sharp political confrontations with the state government. He resigned on 21st of July, as I said earlier, citing health concerns. But let's be honest, mere health concerns do not seem to be a plausible enough reason. मैं ऐसा क्यों कह रही हूँ? Because in March this year, Mr. Dhankar suffered from a heart attack and had to undergo angioplasty. Now I want to ask, अगर resign करना ही होता तो he could have resigned then. ऐसी कौन सी मेडिकल एडवाइस थी जिसके अकॉर्डिंग मिस्टर धनकर 21 जुलाई को, जो कि मॉनसून सेशन का पहला दिन था, सुबह में राज्यसभा की प्रोसीडिंग्स को चेयर करते हैं और शाम में टू एवरीबॉडी सरप्राइज अपना रेजिग्नेशन दे देते हैं ऑनरेबल प्रेसिडेंट को. After researching a bit about this and listening to numerous people, I realized that this was not just a personal decision. He was forced out. And this is not what it looks like on the surface. The real truth is hidden and needs to be unearthed. But before getting into that truth, one thing needs to be made clear. वो ये कि it's not about Jagdeep Dhankar or any individual as such, but that constitutional office which they hold, which in the order of precedence is the second highest in the country, next only to the Honorable President. This is further shocking and a one-of-a-kind issue, as I said in the beginning, because the Hindu points out that Mr. Dhankar is the first Vice President in the history of independent India to resign this way. Some of his predecessors, like V.V. Giri, who resigned before completing their term, had the reason of moving on to get elected as the President of India. Now let's talk about the truth. Because let's face it, Jagdeep Dhankar का political image कोई mystery नहीं था. He was known for his sharp attacks on the judiciary, frequent jibes at the opposition, and openly backing the ruling dispensation's stand on key issues. In fact, काफी बार उन्होंने Supreme Court और collegium system को directly target किया. He said in Rajya Sabha when National Judicial Appointments Commission was struck down by the Supreme Court, calling this act, and I quote, a glaring instance of severe compromise of parliamentary sovereignty and disregard of the mandate of people. Loyalty का proof उन्होंने पहले भी दिया था. वेस्ट बंगाल के गवर्नर रहते हुए ममता बनर्जी सरकार के खिलाफ अग्रेसिव स्टैंड लेकर, और वीपी होते हुए राज्यसभा में ऑपोजिशन को कट करते हुए. लेकिन पॉलिटिक्स में लॉयल्टी का मतलब लाइफ टाइम वारंटी नहीं होता. One of the biggest flashpoints came from an impeachment motion that Vice President Dhankar actually admitted against Justice Yashwant Verma of the Delhi High Court. This was the same judge जिनके official residence से allegedly burnt stacks of cash recover हुए थे earlier this year. Dhankar didn't shy away. He registered the notice in the Rajya Sabha and it eventually travelled to the Lok Sabha, where a 3-member inquiry panel was set up on 12 August 2025. Now, here's where it gets political. The ruling dispensation was already sitting on another impeachment notice. This one against Justice Shekhar Kumar Yadav of the Allahabad High Court, जो अपने highly communal remarks के लिए न्यूज में रहे. And that notice had been with the Rajya Sabha for months without action. In the BJP circles, the thinking was simple. अगर धनकर वर्मा के अगेंस्ट मोशन एडमिट कर सकते हैं तो कल को शेखर यादव के लिए भी प्रेसिडेंट बन जाएगा. But BJP had its own strategy. They wanted the Verma impeachment to originate and unfold in the Lok Sabha, जहां उनका complete control है and they can own the narrative. It would give them the political limelight. But Dhankar, who let's not forget, also enjoys his share of limelight, stuck to the Rajya Sabha rule, and thus this rules versus narrative clash quietly deepened the fault lines between him and the treasury benches. And then came the strange episode of Business Advisory Committee meeting. Congress General Secretary in charge communications, Mr. Jairam Ramesh said Mr. Dhankar chaired the Business Advisory Committee of the Rajya Sabha at 12:30 p.m. on Monday. And now I quote his tweet of July 22 from X. Yesterday, Shri Jagdeep Dhankar chaired the Business Advisory Committee of the Rajya Sabha at 12:30 p.m. It was attended by most members, including the Leader of the House, J.P. Nadda, and the Minister of Parliamentary Affairs, Kiran Rijiju. After some discussion, the BSE decided to meet again at 4:30 p.m. Mr. Ramesh said at 4:30 p.m. the BSE reassembled under the chairmanship of Shri Jagdeep Dhankar. It waited for Shri Nadda and Shri Rijiju to arrive. They never came. But Jagdeep Dhankar was not personally informed that the two senior ministers were not attending. Rightly, he took umbrage and rescheduled the meeting for today at 1 p.m. Delhi politics में इसको silent message कहते हैं. Opposition leaders later pointed out that the silence that followed Dhankar's resignation, no official farewell, no warm tweet from PM Modi, not even the usual BJP leaders' statements. Congress MP from Lok Sabha, Gaurav Gogoi, asked the centre if there was any prior information with regard to the resignation and asked if there was a plan in place for a smooth transition. Some urged PM Modi to convince Mr. Dhankar to change his mind. Mallikarjun Kharge bluntly said, he went strictly by the book and that upset the BJP. They threatened him and he was forced out. On 9 August, in a press conference, Kapil Sibal dropped this gem. We have heard of Lapata ladies, but a Lapata vice president? Where did he disappear to?
उनके बारे में हमें मालूम ही नहीं कि वो कहाँ हैं. अब लापता लेडीज का तो मुझे पता था, तो लापता उपराष्ट्रपति की पति का ये तो पहली बार सुना.
Now, it's up to you to decide whether he was forced to resign or otherwise. But the questions do not end. Times headline has very aptly asked, has the Prime Minister's dominance reached a point where even constitutional functionaries feel suffocated? Is there no space left for autonomy even within the highest offices of the land? If Dhankar, once considered a Modi loyalist, found it impossible to continue, what does that imply about the pressure constitutional officers are under to toe the line? And so, the story of Jagdeep Dhankar's resignation isn't about one man stepping down, as I said earlier. It's about what happens when the second highest constitutional office in India, an office meant to be above politics, finds itself cornered by politics. और सच यही है. This pattern doesn't stop here. We have seen it with the ED, the CBI, the Income Tax Department, bodies meant to function independently but repeatedly accused of working to the ruling dispensation's script. When even these pillars of democracy are bent to suit political convenience, the message is clear. No office, no institution is safe from being undermined. And if the vice president's chair can be shaken like this, बाकी कुर्सियों का क्या होगा? Thank you, and don't forget to subscribe to the Essence Hub, and I'll see you in the next one.